Welcome to our in-depth technical analysis of NEXI, a stock trading on the OTC market. In this video, we'll break down the latest price action, key technical indicators, and what they might mean for investors. With a current price of $2.17 as of December 31, 2025, NEXI has shown some remarkable movements over the past 3 months. We'll start by looking at the basics, then move into more advanced metrics, and finally, we'll summarize what all these numbers could mean for future price action. Let's dive in and explore the story behind the numbers. EXI's current price stands at $2.17, a significant jump compared to its historical lows. This price was recorded on December 31, 2025 and marks a notable event in the stock's recent trading history. Over the last 3 months, the price mostly hovered near zero, making this sudden spike even more intriguing. We'll explore what might have caused this movement and how it's reflected in the technical indicator. Understanding the current price is essential before we analyze the underlying trends. Looking back at the last 26 trading days, NEXI's price was remarkably flat, with most days closing at 0.0001 or even lower. This period of low activity was suddenly interrupted by the sharp increase to $2.17. Such a dramatic change in price over a short period is unusual and often signals a major event or shift in market sentiment. We'll keep this context in mind as we examine the technical indicators, which can help us understand whether this move is sustainable. Simple moving averages, SMA, are a key tool for identifying trends. For NEXI, the SMA values across different periods are quite low, with the 5-day SMA at 0.434 and the 200-day SMA at 0.674. This suggests that the recent price spike hasn't yet fully influenced the longer-term averages. The SMAs show that, until recently, the stock was trading at extremely low levels. As we move forward, we'll see how other moving averages compare and what they reveal about momentum. Exponential moving averages, EMA, give more weight to recent prices, making them more responsive to sudden changes. For NEXI, the 5-day EMA is 0.724, while the 200-day EMA is a striking 10.2. This large gap between short and long-term EMAs suggests that the recent price action is starting to impact the averages, but the longer-term EMA is still heavily influenced by past data. This divergence can sometimes signal a potential trend reversal or the start of a new trend. Volume is a crucial indicator of market interest. On December 30, 2025, NEXI saw a volume of 12,837 shares, much higher than the typical daily volume over the past 3 months. Most previous days had volumes in the low thousands or even hundreds. This sudden surge in volume, along with the price spike, suggests that something significant happened to attract traders' attention. High volume often confirms the strength of a price move. Volume weighted average price, VWAP, for NEXI is 10.85, which is significantly higher than the current price. The VWAP difference percentage is %, indicating that the current price is well below the average price weighted by volume. This could mean that recent buyers are underwater, or that the price spike hasn't yet been fully absorbed by the market. VWAP is often used by institutional traders to gauge fair value. Momentum indicators help us understand the strength of a price move. For NEXI, the 10-day and 20-day momentum values are both 2.17, matching the current price. The rate of change ROC is extremely high at over 2 million, reflecting the dramatic price increase. Such high momentum readings are rare and typically occur after a major event or news release. We'll see if this momentum is sustained or if it fades quickly. Relative Strength Index, RSI, is a popular tool for identifying overbought or oversold conditions. NEXI's RSI values are extremely high, with the 14-day RSI at 99.36, 21-day at 98.06, and 28-day at 95.53. These readings are well above the typical overbought threshold of 70, suggesting that the stock may be due for a pullback or consolidation. High RSI values often follow sharp price increases. Moving Average Convergence Divergence, MACD, is another key momentum indicator. For NEXI, the MACD is 0.171, with a signal line at 0.031 and a histogram of 0.14. The positive MACD and histogram values indicate bullish momentum, but the relatively small numbers suggest that the move is still developing. MACD momentum is also positive, reinforcing the idea of a recent trend shift. Bollinger Bands help us visualize volatility and potential price targets. For NEXI, the upper band is at 1.05, the middle at 0.109, and the lower at -0.837. The current price is above the upper band, which is a classic sign of an overextended move. The band width is also very wide at 17.34, indicating heightened volatility. Traders often watch for price to revert back inside the bands after such moves. Stochastic Oscillator measures the current price relative to its recent range. For NEXI, the 14-day stock K is 33.66 and stock D is 11.77. These values are relatively low, which is unusual given the recent price spike. It suggests that despite the jump, the stock hasn't established a strong uptrend in the context of its recent range. This could mean the move is still being digested by the market. Stochastic RSI is a momentum oscillator that applies the stochastic formula to RSI values. For NEXI, stock RSI K is at 100 while stock RSI D is at 35. This indicates extreme momentum with the stock at the very top of its RSI range. Such readings are rare and often precede a period of consolidation or correction. Unbalanced volume, OBV, is a cumulative indicator that adds volume on up days and subtracts it on down days. NEXI's OBV is extremely high at over 168 million, reflecting the recent surge in both price and volume. High OBV values can confirm the strength of a price move, especially when accompanied by rising prices. Money Flow Index, MFI, combines price and volume to identify overbought or oversold conditions. NEXI's MFI is at the maximum value of 100, indicating extremely overbought conditions. This aligns with the high RSI readings and suggests that the recent buying pressure may not be sustainable in the short term. Average Directional Index, ADX, measures the strength of a trend. For NEXI, the ADX is at 81.27, which is considered extremely strong. The plus DI is at 99.19, while the minus DI is just 0.54, confirming a powerful uptrend. High ADX values like this are rare and indicate that the current trend is very robust. A rune indicator helps identify trend changes. NEXI's Arun up is at 100 while Arun down is at 96. This suggests that the stock has recently hit a new high, but the high Arun down value means it hasn't been long since the last low. The Arun oscillator is at 7.14, indicating a recent trend shift but not yet a fully established uptrend. Pivot points are used to identify potential support and resistance levels. For NEXI, the pivot point is at 1.45 with resistance at 2.89 and support at 0.723. The current price is above the pivot, suggesting bullish sentiment but not yet at the resistance level. These levels can act as targets for traders and help manage risk. NEXI's 52-week high is 7.05, while the low is nearly zero. The current price of $2.17 puts the stock at about 31% of its 52-week range. This suggests there's still room for upside if the trend continues, but also highlights the volatility and risk involved. Knowing where the stock sits in its yearly range can help frame expectation. Volatility is a measure of how much the price fluctuates. For NEXI, the 30-day volatility is over 39 million, and true volatility is 7.65. The volatility breakout is 13.07, indicating a recent surge in price movement. High volatility can create both opportunities and risks for traders, so it's important to be aware of these numbers when making decisions. Trend Quality Index for NEXI is 127.58, and the Trend Strength score is 3.27. The MA alignment is 3, which suggests that moving averages are starting to align in favor of the new trend. These metrics help confirm that the recent price action is not just a random spike, but part of a broader trend shift. Risk-reward ratio for NEXI is currently 0, which is unusual and may reflect the extreme volatility and recent price action. Typically, traders look for a positive risk-reward ratio before entering a position. This metric reminds us to be cautious and consider both potential gains and losses. NEXI's volume growth rate is 1.41 and volume acceleration is 3.61. These numbers show that not only is volume increasing, but it's doing so at an accelerating pace. This often happens when a stock attracts new attention, possibly from news or speculation. Sustained volume growth can support continued price movement. The Chaikin oscillator is at 1001.17, which is a positive value and suggests that money flow is supporting the recent price increase. This indicator combines price and volume to measure the accumulation or distribution of a stock. Positive readings reinforce the bullish case. Average true range, ATR, for NEXI is 0.166 and the true range is 2.17. These indicators measure volatility and help traders set stop-loss levels. Higher ATR values mean wider price swings, which can increase both risk and reward. It's important to adjust trading strategies accordingly. Linear regression helps identify the overall trend direction. For NEXI, the slope is 0.0016 with a predicted value of 0.1 and a deviation percent of nearly 2,000%. This suggests that the recent price spike is far above the trend line, highlighting just how unusual the move has been. Such deviations often revert over time. NEXI's technical score is 75, which is relatively high and suggests a strong technical setup. This score aggregates various indicators to provide an overall assessment of the stock's technical health. While the score is positive, it's important to consider the context of recent volatility and price action. Recap: NEXI has experienced a dramatic price spike, accompanied by high volume and extreme readings in many technical indicators. Momentum, trend strength, and volatility are all elevated, while overbought signals suggest caution. The combination of these factors paints a picture of a stock in transition, possibly entering a new phase after months of inactivity. Such extreme moves, it's important to consider the risks. High volatility can lead to rapid reversals, and overbought indicators warn of potential pullbacks. Traders should be cautious and use risk management tools like stop-loss orders. Always remember that past performance does not guarantee future results, especially in such volatile environments. In conclusion, NEXI's recent price action has transformed its technical outlook. While the indicators point to strong momentum and trend strength, the extreme readings also call for caution. Going forward, it will be important to watch for confirmation of the new trend, as well as signs of consolidation or reversal. Stay tuned for further updates as the story of NEXI continues to unfold.